whatever the trigger is. Yeah, he got hit by that. So Mark's a great player, and see, we's playing blue red, so we have yet another blue steel versus blue red, guys, and it was not intentional, but here we are.
Yeah, and this dude is like, Zan's cool and all, but we're rooting for Mark. Yeah, Mark's a good guy. I had a chance to talk to him a little bit last time at the last event.
Yeah, Mark's super cool. I follow him on Twitter,
yeah.
and super nice guy. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see, because he's a really smart deck builder. I love his deck builds. We're kind of seeing some of it now as he's shuffling towards us, giving us some secrets. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he's able to beat out this Sapphire Steel deck. As we're seeing, these Sapphire Steel decks are a real problem for Ruby Sapphire. So.
Absolutely, this dude. I agree. He's actually a very great player, and we're happy to have him here. And no better challenge than the man sitting across from him, Mr. Zan Syed.
Yep.
Who needs no introduction.
Yes,
here.
Manuel in the chat's like, wait, is this actually? Yes, Zan Syed came down here on an airplane. Second time. Yep.
So thanks for coming back, Zan. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself so much last time that you said let's do it again.
Yeah.
So happy to have you, and always an opportunity to learn when Zan's in the building. So we appreciate you being here. And for those who were not here earlier, Zan on a very cool items build with Oswald and a million items and Tamatoa Dime. So yeah, very interesting to see.
Yeah.
So we will see how it fares against Mark's red-blue control deck. So both players on Sapphire control list, which we anticipated seeing a lot of today.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
let's see if there's Oswald.
And there is the one we were speaking about. So
say his name and he appears.
That's it.
Oswald.
I believe in Oswald.
Yeah.
And we did see Zan also ink a Scrooge, which for those who are new here, Scrooge allows you to exert 4 items, and then you could play Scrooge for free. And then Scrooge looks at the top 4 cards of your deck, and you can grab an item and put it in your hand. So very much like Ariel, except that you can play it for free and grab an item. So pretty good.
Let me ask you a question, Skinner. Let's say you're playing against somebody at a major event. Let's say you're at a DLC.
Okay.
And you play a card, and the person looks at your card and has to read it for the first time. How does that make you feel?
It means either I'm playing jank, or I figured something crazy out. You know, it's one of the two.
Yeah.
As you can see, Mark, he took like 20 seconds to read Oswald and then immediately brawled it.
He's like, he's like, no.
He's like, okay, yeah, no, we're good here.
This is a hard no for me, dog.
Yeah. So really funny, but sometimes you got to read a card. Like I didn't know what that Namari did earlier. We saw Namari, uninkable Namari. I didn't know what that card did. Even us, even the players that we play every day and we read cards every day.
Yeah.
There's just so many cards out there. True. So
and Namari, in fact, as we discovered, is Hydra at home. So,
yeah, she is Hydra. She is small Hydra.
Yeah.
And Tipo, the boy who could, getting in for 1 lore.
Yeah, doing all kinds of Tipo things, getting Mark a bunch of ink.
So I think this is a good play here from Mark, just getting some threats on the board, because Zan does take a little bit to set up with this deck. So just being able to get a body out there. However, this 4/4 Scrooge is quite problematic. 4/4 body is just really good into all these kind of 3/3s. A lot of these Ruby threats are 3 attack, 3 defense, like this Tala. So Scrooge just 1 step bigger, which can be a huge difference.
Yeah.
And chooses to ink the Bell.
I mean, you need ink, right? I guess that's an option you can do.
Oh yeah, that's the best part about Bell. Not only is she super cracked on turn 1, you could always just ink her later. So
yeah,
that's the power of Bell.
That is absolutely the power of Bell. Yes, it's crazy what we've seen done with her just today alone. I mean, she is definitely meta defining. She feels like what Sail the Azurite Sea was last set.
Mm-hmm.
If you're playing Sapphire, she's a must include. It feels like in most cases.
And Mark Zan, honestly, not all that impressive.
No.
Be prepared, a Sisu, which can't really do anything, and also a Sail, so he'll sail and take a look at another card. That card does more, but unfortunately, ink is of the essence here. He's going to have to most likely ink this Tamatoa. It stinks, but you got to move the game forward here. You can't just get stuck on ink here. So as you can see, Mark, really...
and Mark's realizing that. Like the look on Mark's face is saying, like, do I really do this? Is this actually what I'm at?
And I think you got to, because Zan's just going to keep on ramping.
Yeah. And it's just so tough because of how close he is to that number. Like he's at 5, he goes to 6 by inking Tamatoa.
Yeah, but it's still
2 away. But yeah, you have to.
I think we just got to ink it.
Yeah, certainly. All right.
It's unfortunate, but I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes you have to ink the. That's kind of the problem with playing so many uninkables, and not that he's playing a lot, but when you do play a lot of uninkables, sometimes you just have to ink the cards you want to be playing because you just can't ink anything else. So that's a little bit of a bad luck there for Mark, and clearly Mark hoping he could draw himself a Hiram here because he is out of gas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They say all gas, no brakes. Well, the brakes have been cut and the gas fuel line is split too. So
wow, that's thanks. That's a good analogy. Thank you.
quite violent. Yeah.
That is quite the repairman analogy. And we see just the lone Be Prepared, which I will not be singing on today's stream.
Well, I don't see why not. Is Baker here? Will he?
No, Baker's not here, so I'm not singing. All right.
Okay. He's the only person we care to impress, apparently.
All right. So he draws Zan with quite a few cards in hand, with 2 popsicles in hand, which means Zan's going to be drawing plenty of cards.
Harlan Sweet just came in here, and Harlan Sweet said, "Oswald."
Yeah, Harlan.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is neither kiwi nor bird.
That is a bird, but oh no, actually Scrooge is the bird. Is what I'm.
Yeah, I was gonna say Scrooge McDuck is the bird.
Yeah, Harlan, we're gaming here at SSG.
Yeah, nothing but spice.
We got Oswald, and yeah.
So we see a Vitalosphere Be Prepared in Mark's hand. Just thinking through, how do we make something of this? What are the play lines here?
Yeah, Oswald is a rabbit. That is correct.
Yes,
Oswald. I was looking at Scrooge when I said bird. So.
Oswald is not just a rabbit. Oswald's a lucky rabbit.
He is,
which means his feet are extra lucky too.
What's unlucky is that Mark just played a Be Prepared, but Mark has 0 cards in hand.
Yep.
So now Zan really gets to do a lot of stuff because he's got popsicles.
Yeah, and that's something. So for those of you that are jumping in now and you weren't able to jump in earlier, the power of Zan's deck is in how much it is able to draw. Yes, it uses Hiram as you would expect, but it's also using Maurice's Workshop, as we saw earlier on, just drawing, and just getting so much value and so many cards digging through the deck. So Zan is putting himself in a position to get through that deck and do those things. So
absolutely, yeah. Zan's deck, we did see it earlier on camera. Game 1, it just kind of fizzled out. Played a bunch of items, but couldn't close the game out. But game 2, he did like a crazy Tamatoa for 10 play in 1 turn. So very explosive, way to close out the game for Zan. So although he's hanging out at 0 lore right now, that could change very quickly. And Mark, grab it. I mean, honestly, a great card to draw, but not a lot of items to get back. So that is a little unfortunate, but a 4/5 is pretty good here. Kriplin he's always playing Amber Ruby. Kriplin, for those asking, yeah. Kriplin is an Randy Ruber.
Andy Ruber.
That's Andy Ruber. Yeah. I've been talking a lot, guys. Sorry.
It's Amber Ruby.
That's the one I'm looking for. All right, and Zan does go ahead and resolve one of these workshops, which can turn every popsicle into a draw 2, essentially, which is really problematic for Mark here, considering that he has no cards, or 1 card in hand, I think. That card on the left, I believe, is in his hand. I could be wrong. I don't know if it's ink or not, but I think it's in his hand.
Yeah.
I will say I'm not super convinced on Tamatoa and blue-red. Yeah. I mean, I could see it. It depends how many items you're on, but yeah, I could see the argument.
It definitely feels like we're in a sharpening period. I think what's happening now is we're seeing some different versions come through. I've seen bells, item heavy bells. I've seen variants that stay really true to last set with Maui Half Shark and actions. I've seen some combination of that. I think what we're experiencing now is like this sharpening, and then of course you've got the fourth. Or you've got this alternate style, which is the DKP version, that doesn't use any of that stuff. Like it's just very low to the ground, very designed to deal with aggro. And so, I think we're trying to figure out if we want to use all the new toys, how do we do that and be as consistent as we got towards the end of set 6? So I think we'll see it. I think we'll get there. I think we're going to see a more consistent version of this. I think it's just some sharpening.
For
that
sure.
needs to happen. Yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, this is day one, guys. So
that's the beauty of it.
decks are not going to be totally
No.
refined. There's going to be many changes. I'm sure after this event, many people will go out and try to, build decks that beat these decks or are these decks. So the meta will only continue to evolve from today, and it's no way, shape, or form. This is not the end all be all of what the meta will look like. Clearly, everybody's still learning. A lot of people weren't able to get some of the new cards.
Yeah.
So just things to keep in mind.
Yeah, some people were lucky to get one Tamatoa, and then Jack, of course, goes and gets 4 enchanted Tamatoa.
Yeah, well, that's the way it goes sometimes. So you have the resources, you have the connections, use them.
Right, use them. 100%.
So, and as we can see, a big, scary 8/8, or not 8/8, excuse me, 8-cost Tamatoa in play. And Mark still on top deck mode. He has 1 card in hand, which doesn't look like it's going to be helping him very much. It is a Hiram, which actually is not bad, but
it's not.
But Tamatoa is going to start ranking up this lore very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, if he's got Vitalisphere on the table, you got to put something down and that can deal with problems. And now we have 2 problems.
Mark giving the big nod.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the double crab.
Oh, and P.
And no actions, sir. No be prepared, please.
The last thing that Mark wants to see right now, which I think we've seen already, is potentially a lucky dime here.
Yep. Lucky dime would be a dagger, but
we know that Zan's got it.
Mark's just so far behind at this point. I mean, he has not been able to draw enough cards to keep up with Zan in any way, shape, or form. I don't anticipate that he has ways to deal with this workshop. And in these kind of slow matches, workshop just absolutely blows the game wide open. Yep. Workshop is so good in this grindy matchup because it just draws so many extra cards. And it makes it really hard to stay in the game with the player that plays the workshop.
Yeah, Mark forced to play a Sisu without a target.
All right, so we draw. Yeah, when you play Sisu with no targets, that's
that's very telling.
It's not where you want to be.
Nope.
And
here we go.
Zan just keep drawing cards. He will take the trigger effect. He's deciding if he wants to take the second option. So he draws the card off the popsicle, then pays 1 to draw off the
workshop.
The workshop.
Yep.
Correct. Yeah. So 2 cards per popsicle, essentially, if he chooses, which is quite absurd.
Oh, Link, you may be right. I think I may have misread that.
I think we all know what that does.
What's that?
The lucky dime.
Lucky Deem.
The lucky dime.
Yeah.
And these Tamatoas are about to produce a lot of lore.
They really are. Yes, they are. Too much
Zan
lore.
is doing the math. I think Mark says, yeah, I'm dead. So Mark will scoop it up and we'll move on to game 2.
Yeah.
Save ourselves some time here since these matches are a little longer, a little grindier.
They are.
And it's unfortunate that Mark kind of bricked there. He ran out of cards very quickly and Zan just able to just start piling cards into his hand. And obviously, just resolve a bunch of cards and then play Tamatoa.
Yeah, I mean, and this goes back to the point that I was making earlier. I said that the ceiling is much higher for Ruby Sapphire. There's much more explosive opening turns for it, and yet there's also the inverse of that is just games where you draw not enough to do anything ultimately, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing that. So I think a lot of people their fear of Ruby Sapphire is tied to individual moments. But when you do math, the way math works is you need a lot of data.
Is that how math works?
That's how math works. Data matters.
I've never known how math works.
The law of large numbers is what matters here.
Interesting.
Yes, you need to have lots of numbers, lots of data.
Maybe you could teach me math sometimes.
Yeah, I can tutor you.
I'll teach you how to read, and you could teach me how to.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. I need the help, certainly.
But we're going to game 2 here, and this is not over yet. We did see Zan lose a game earlier to Red Blue that was just able to resolve a coil and just kind of keep Zan off of threats every time he played a Tamatoa. The coil would get rid of it. So there is definitely weakness there. If Zan's not able to produce enough threats, coil could kind of run away with the game.
Yeah.
But I mean, we didn't see any Sisus there. We didn't see much of anything.
No,
so
coils couldn't do their thing. He had a bunch of Sisus that kind of were left
just
limp.
drawing dead and not able to compete.
No.
So we will see Mark on the play this game. And hopefully we can get a good game too.
Yeah. Hopefully we can.
Hopefully nobody goes to time. We definitely don't want to see that again.
No.
I'm sure Zan doesn't either.
Yeah,
So-
certainly. I mean, Zan's got a draw on his record now.
Right.
You know, and you kind of want to save those for the end if you need them. We are allowing intentional draws here tonight for this event.
Yeah, but if you can't intentionally draw if
Correct.
you had to draw earlier.
Yes.
So
He doesn't want. He wants to have the flexibility, and his opponent's not going to be happy when he gets paired up in round 7, and he has to tell his opponent, "Well, see, the thing is, I've already done this 4 rounds ago,
yeah,
so I can't do this with you."
Yeah.
And we have to play.
that happens.
Yeah.
And that opens up spots for somebody else underneath to crawl in. So you never know.
Yeah, correct. That I mean, with so many people here, again, the law of large numbers. With so many people here, there's a shot for people to get in, and as these draws happen, not intentional, then the unintentional draws even.
By the way, guys, while we're looking at us,
Oh yeah, you
look
got
at
to
this
show 'em.
beautiful mat. I know you guys have probably already seen it. If you
Some people
guys
haven't.
But I purchased this mat because it's like one of my favorite mats that have been
That is a cool
released
mat.
in the game so far. Isn't that amazing?
It is a cool mat.
It is so cool. The colors, the characters. If you guys haven't seen Big Hero 6, highly recommend. Very good movie. And speaking of big heroes, let's see who will be the hero in this story.
Yes. Will Mark be the big hero here, or will Zan yokai his way out of this? Let's see.
I appreciate you, Gabe. You always find a way to spin it into something good. All right, so no bells for each of these players. They just gotta do the traditional popsicle pass.
Yep.
And let's see if Zan is going to go with the Tipo route or if he's going to try to cram in a Oswald again. We have yet to see Oswald do something.
Yeah, I mean Oswald on the play versus Oswald on the draw. I'd be interested to see what Zan's perspective is on that. Like, does it matter? You know, because people say that there's certain cards that are better on the play.
Hmm.
I'm wondering if Oswald falls into one side or the other of that.
For sure. And we do see more promising cards in Mark's hand this time around. Although I don't see a lot of ways to draw cards. I see a Sail, but that's pretty much it. And that was his biggest detriment last game, is that he did have some threats, but then once they were gone, he just didn't have a way to refill. So
Yeah.
yeah, well, Lahara Fargo will be a good start.
Let's see.
Unfortunately, does not find a Hiram off of that, but he
No.
does provide himself with an extra ink, which means if he so chooses next turn, he can sack that popsicle, play a Tamatoa.
Yeah.
You know, you would like to get double items back, but even if it's just one,
Listen, Mark needs to get through his deck. Mark is having an issue in this game, in last game, in digging into the deck.
well, that's always kind of been a problem for Red Blue, right? Like if you don't find your Hirams, it can be quite problematic to get some cards. When you do draw your Hirams, you draw like an infinite amount of cards, but when you don't see them, it could definitely be problematic.
And the thing is, you know, like the cards that used to be the cards that would solve for that, Vision of the Future, Grand Matala. These are the cards that are leaving the decks to make room for the new Tamatoa, to make room for a Sapphire Coil, to make room for all these things. So like where we don't want to give up the drawing, we instead give up the digging, and the digging is really just drawing light. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's tough. But we finally see a Sisu get on the table and be used to effect. So like actually getting to target a character here, Mark's got to feel okay about that. It's just a Tipo, but still.
Yep. And double Sisu in play here, which does open the door to a shift line, which you can see that Mark does have in his hand. So that's pretty cool. And then Zan, no threats in play at the moment. So, but you know that can change very quickly as he plays a the workshop. Sorry, I couldn't think of the name. Maurice's workshop.
Yeah.
And now he will take his draw off of the popsicle and then pay 1 to take an additional draw. So draw 2 off the popsicle, and Zan's hand is stacked.
It is. That Maurice's workshop has gotten Zan, I would argue, more value than a Hiram has.
Interesting to see that people didn't choose to respect items a little bit more, considering all the new item synergy that's in this set. You would think that maybe I saw some people playing Cusco's and Benjas, but you would think that there would be a way to remove this Maurice's workshop, but it seems like there isn't, unless he's playing Hideaway, which I haven't seen. But that's a little bit risky, you know. Being able to just ignore that workshop is not a good sign. That workshop is just going to continue to churn out cards. Every time a popsicle gets played, he's drawing 2 cards. You know, Tamatoa grabs back the popsicle. We're drawing more cards, so it's going to be really difficult to outdraw Zan. And drawing cards is the name of the game here.
Yeah, we know that Zan's got Lucky Diamond hand. We know that Zan has Fishbone's coming down. We see Let the Storm Rage on. I mean, Zan's got answers. We see the Scrooge. If Zan can get down one more item, oh, he's inking it though. If Zan can get, but I mean, that's a good thing to take note of. If Zan can get down one more item, any Scrooge that he draws, it goes down for free.
Yep. But he chooses obviously to dispatch of that Tamatoa, which could be quite problematic, and just go ahead and remove it with Zeus, which I think is a must play right now if you're on Steel, personally.
Yes, agreed.
Zeus just destroys genies, destroys Maui sharks, hits this new Tamatoa, so definitely important to be playing Zeus's if you're on Steel, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I see some people opting not to play them, and I just I'm not behind that. I think you need them.
Oof. And
Mark High Rumble draw 2. We see a dime and a Tamatoa coming to the hand.
The hideaway is going to be okay. So,
okay.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, there's the hideaway, and Mark realizing the same thing we're realizing that that workshop's got to go because we're never gonna be able to outdraw Zan if that workshop doesn't get removed.
Yeah. That drawing for Zan at this point. I mean, I would argue he's already gotten way too much value off that card. You just got to stop it. I mean, a Lucky Dime's coming. It doesn't matter. You just need to stop the draw.
For sure. And these two human Sisus just taking it to the house here. And
why are you calling Zan and Mark human Sisus? That's weird. I don't get what that means.
These two long hair, don't care Sisus are questing every turn here until Zan decides to remove them somehow. He does pay 1 just to sack away the Fortisphere, since it does cost 1 to activate its effect.
Yeah.
And Zan will take the opportunity to play a Tamatoa and get 2 popsicles back, essentially, a Fortisphere and a popsicle.
Yeah, Breezy's saying Workshop seems to be working. Yeah, I would agree. I would say Workshop is putting in the most of anything that we've seen in Zan's deck. I would say that Workshop is the most valuable card that we've seen.
Yeah, I saw it a lot actually last format too, when the red blue was a big thing. I know Milton, who was on camera earlier, he was playing Workshops because it just breaks the mirror wide open. If one player is playing Workshop and the other one isn't, it's blouses for whoever's not playing.
It was funny because we were making fun of Milton for playing those Workshops. We even called the card Milton's Workshop instead of Maurice's Workshop.
But they were good, and now we're seeing why. I mean, just being able to generate so much card value, it's just really, really powerful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a Tamatoa of his own as Mark goes ahead and grabs back. Unfortunately, just 1 popsicle, not able to get the full extent of the value that Blue Steel is able to do. Somebody was mentioning earlier about that. Tamatoa may not be a good fit for red blue, and I can see it. There's just, unless you have 2 popsicles in the yard, it can be a little tricky. Getting value out of the Tamatoa. There's just so many more options in Blue Steel.
Yeah, I think it's true to say that the Tamatoa is better value in Sapphire Steel, but I don't think it's completely useless in Ruby.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say useless. It's just going to be interesting to see if it's necessary, I would say.
Yeah, does it need to be in the deck, or is there something better than it, I guess is the point, right?
Because there's definitely going to be item heavier versions of red blue.
Yeah.
And that one I could definitely see the justification for it.
Yeah.
But if you're just playing Fortispheres and popsicles, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, after we had seen all the cards, I was testing out a version that was using unconventional tool, using both bells, both new bells, being really, really greedy, if I'm being completely honest with you. So like versions like that, I mean, that Tamatoa is so important to keeping the engine alive. But I see your point, though. I see your point.
I mean, I really didn't think about it until somebody in chat said it, but I can see the justification for that.
Yeah.
I don't see a Scrooge in hand, but if we did have a Scrooge here, we could exert all these items to play Scrooge for free, which is pretty good. Oh, you do see a Scrooge in hand.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so we might get to see.
Yeah, he'll be able to tap the 4 cards that are currently, well, unless he really, really wants to use the Fishbone, because you got to tap the Fishbone. You can't tap it again to use the Scrooge. So he's got to decide whether or not that Fishbone needs to be used for its actual effect.
Right. And I mean, he knows his opponent has 1,000,000 ink. Most likely he knows there's at least a Be Prepared. He doesn't know, obviously, Mark has 2 Be Prepareds.
Yeah.
But he has to assume there's at least 1. So he has to be careful about how many threats he's just dumping onto the board.
You just said, I was just going to share it because because he's got to be prepared. You got to force him to use it.
Oh yeah, you definitely have to
So,
force him, but
yeah.
you also don't want to give him an insane amount of
Yes,
value here.
for sure.
So he's questing, which
Oh,
lets him play an item
the
for free.
dime. That is, he just gained 7 ink worth of value from questing that Tamatoa.
So now he could exert those 4 if he wants and play Scrooge.
Yeah, you can.
And he's gonna do that.
But okay. So Zan is deciding that the additional ink is more important than gaining lore right now.
All right. If you don't mind holding it down, I'm gonna run to the table real quick and buy some Scrooges.
Go, please do. Yeah. I need you to go do that
before Zan spikes them at the end of this tournament.
Yeah. I've seen people running to go buy Oswald's too, by the way. So
I was already asked. Yeah. This is the Zan effect. I went out to use the restroom and I had 2 people ask me if I had Oswald's for trade. So
yeah,
word moves fast.
Yeah, the same guy that asked you, I think, came up to me afterwards too.
Yeah. The word moves fast. So, but Scrooge. I mean, I knew Scrooge was a solid card, but obviously Zan showing how powerful it is, just being able to add a 4/4 for free.
Yeah.
Just look at the top 4 cards of your deck. It just looks really great.
It does.
Zan's deck, I mean, I'll be honest, the first game that I watched Zan play today, I was like, what does this deck do besides play a bunch of items? But I see it. Now I see it. Yeah, now I'm seeing it. It definitely is doing stuff. So yeah, he's just gonna pop these popsicles for free.
Yeah.
And
because why not, right?
Let's just get them back, right? Okay, he's playing right into the Be Prepared. Which I'm sure Mark is loving that. He says, okay, play something else, please.
Keep doing it. Keep
play
doing it.
as much as you like, because it's gone.
Yeah. But to be fair, I mean, what he's think of like Rabbit or Madam M Goat. What he's gaining from playing these cards, even though they're going to go away, is he's gaining cards that are going to get him more cards.
Right.
So
that's what's crazy.
Yeah.
Is that I mean, Scrooge got him a card, replaced itself, and was free. Tamatoa got him 2 cards back,
which will get him 2 more cards.
The Tamatoa that quested played a 7-drop item for free.
Correct.
So like even if these cards go, they still have provided so much value.
In fact, like Mark committing to a Be Prepared right now would be a tremendous problem for him. And Zan would absolutely be on the front foot here because of that dime. That dime is basically a powerful location at this point.
Yep. And I'm sure Mark wishing he had another hideaway right now because that dime sitting in play. Every time my opponent plays a dime, I have to just assume I'm dead next turn.
Yeah,
that's the way I've always thought about dime. You know, it's like you see a dime and
and speaking of dime,
it's not looking good. So okay, is that what he played? That shiny card down there.
Yeah.
Okay, that flashbang at the very bottom of the screen there is a dime.
Yeah. So I'm sure our production team
these Sisus
fixing that.
These Sisus have put in like 10 lore for Mark.
Yes, they have.
And evasive seemed to be a pretty good way to combat some of this strategy that Zan's playing here. But is Zan just going to blow him out here? Okay, he plays the Be Prep.
Yep, he just Be Prepared.
So the Sisus off the table, unfortunately, but Zan's stuff is also off the table, so can't complain.
Correct, yeah.
I think it's a fair trade here.
It is a classic Tamatoa. A first set Tamatoa so shiny here is worth 6 lore. If he can get one down.
Gabe, are we gonna have to play Find 'em and Flatten 'em?
I've been telling people that and they keep calling me stupid. So I hope I'm vindicated right now because this is exactly
the problem is that they just get them all back, right? They just,
not all of them. I mean, they at least they get to decide. Like, you're gonna get 2 with your but pick the 2 at least.
Yeah.
Are you gonna pick up your lucky dime or you want to keep drawing? You know, like you're forced to pick.
Yeah. I'm gonna go buy foil Find 'em, I Flatten 'em, Find 'em, I Flatten 'em.
Let me tell you something. For those of you people out there that really enjoy your fully foiled decks, I mean, look, enjoy what you enjoy, express yourself how you want to express yourself. But y'all are crazy. Like, you're crazy. Okay. The amount of money you spend to play this game is, I respect it, and yet you're also insane. I'm of 2 minds about it.
Yep. And Zan doing the palm. Whenever somebody palms their whole inkwell, I know it's a big thing is coming, and it sure is a big thing as Tamatoa grabs back yet another item. We just have so many ways. I remember when this game was in a state where I was like, okay, there's a million ways to banish items, but there's no way to get them back. And I'm kind of wishing that we were back in that time because there are quite a lot of ways to get them back now, and it is pretty powerful. So
yeah, certainly.
So Mark Mark does have a lot of crabs in his hand himself. I mean, he's got some big threats, but it's going to be difficult to outrace this dime because Tamatoa is about to produce a lot of lore.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4,
So
5,
much
6
value.
lore, which would put Zan up to 9.
Yep. And if Zan can piece together even more, yeah, 4, 5, yeah, 6. Yep, you got it. Okay, yep.
Yep, that is a clock that's going to be tough to compete with.
Yeah, you thought flutes was bad.
So
Boy, oh boy.
Mark's going to have to run out this second B prep here. I don't see any other way. I kind of wish he was playing Tremaine's. I feel like Tremaine is still pretty powerful, especially against these decks that just throw like one big threat in at a time.
Yeah.
I would love to see Tremaine added to the deck here. I know it's tough because there's a lot of uninkables and space and all that, but it would give him another option without having to just B prep the whole board. But you got to do what you got to do here.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
If he readies, Zan is going to
yes, a Zan has got to
unleash quite the fury.
A Zan has got to do what a Zan has got to do.
That 10 cents is going to go for a full $1.
Yep.
So as Zan thinks out, or excuse me, Mark thinks out his turn here.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of options.
But Zan has another Tamatoa in hand.
He does. Yeah. Zan
and a Pete.
Yeah.
My goodness. So Zan, even if he does board wipe here,
yep,
Zan has another surprise for him on the back, right behind it.
Zan knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing.
And
all right, we do see that that Mark is still considering those options. All right, we see the turning of 7 cards. Yep. You know what? May as well get it out now if a Pete's coming.
Yep.
Because it may be over for you if you don't.
All right. And Stefan on production, if you can hear us. We lost feed to the stream. We can still see it on Twitch, but just a heads up if you are able to hear us.
Yeah.
But we're still good. We can watch it on Twitch. We might be a couple seconds behind on the commentary, but
yeah. And what I'm loving is if you look over Mark's shoulder, you just what I've been calling the Avengers of the Lorcana judges. we got googly glimmers here, just hanging out with us. You know, we got John in the back there. Just like these are people that you've seen if you've been to a DLC. Just Albert, just casually walking around, no big deal.
Yeah. Okay, we're back. We got the stream. Stefan got the message. He saw the bat signal and came to the rescue.
Yes.
So we're back in it. And Tala, not Tamatola.
Tala, yeah. Tamatanga.
That's come into play. But little does Mark know that there is another crab en route. And Zan really analyzing the board here. He's trying to figure out how much ink did you have for this.
Yep, we've got some math. 4.
Zan is saying what do you have in the discard? Okay, just do a little chat with the judge just to make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah, certainly.
That's the beauty of having a judge right there at the table side. All right, guys, sorry for the holdup. We just got notice from a judge that we are just double checking a lore total here. It does look like it's possible that Mark accidentally gained 2 lore instead of 1 lore off of Hiram. So they are currently analyzing the table to see if he should be at 14 or 15. So that's what's going on at the moment. So I think that they've determined that he should be at 14.
Yep,
so you may have bet. That's the thing that I don't like about those counters.
I know,
sometimes you tap it and it taps twice, or sometimes
it's tough because for the sake of the stream, of course, we want to be able to visualize the lore counters.
That's why I always recommend having a pen and paper, even though you have it on the stream.
Yes,
a pen and paper is always best because that can't be accidentally tapped.
Correct. Yeah, and even here, like we recommend that the players use their own pen and paper as well. The lore counter is more for you all of the stream as well. So
perfect. Why is dime tapped now? I don't see dime tapped.
The
other dime. I see it.
Yeah, they're referring to Mark's dime.
I was looking at Zan's dime. I'm not sure. That last turn kind of confused me with the stoppage and the gameplay and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if he activated it to Tala or what. I don't know what happened there, to be honest.
Although if it's Zan's turn, I mean, it won't matter at the end of it because
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to make a huge difference,
yeah,
but
it
I
should
mean,
get untapped.
I'm not sure how that happened.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Moyen. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate you. Big fan.
Yeah, Moyen.
You said earlier, it did not seem necessary at all to be prep instead of just making Zan remove everything. Okay, I could see that. Yeah, because he had those 2 human Sisus in play and some other stuff. Yeah, he kind of put himself in a predicament by moving his own board.
Certainly.
But we're too far past that now, as Zan plays Tamatoa into Pete and says,
Right.
figure it out.
Right. Show me what you got.
Pete just doing what Pete does and just stopping removal from being a possibility here. And Mark, it's gonna be rough here. We got a lot of items. We've got a dime and we've got a crab. Okay, Mark has a crab of his own. And Mark at 14. I mean, both these players just a lucky dime away from just being able to clock in here.
Yep.
But I think it might be Blouses here for Mr. Zan.
Oh yeah,
Mr.
I think he's just showing him. I think he's. Oh, we got a popsicle.
Okay, we got a pop.
Can't play it.
That's
Cannot play the sale. Not what you want. Not what you're looking for.
Not enough ink, sir.
No, it is not. We
Not
do
enough
see
ink.
Hirams, but yep, no. Tapping 2 for another sale. Is looking at another beat. Oh yeah, but remember being reminded that it cannot actually do that, and in turn says, "Yep, you're right. This game is over."
Yep, and Zan will scoop it up to 2-0.
2-0.
And move on as a X-0-1. So Zan continuing his streak here, playing this blue steel item deck. We have yet to see Oswald do something cool.
Yeah.
But I like that it's in the deck.
Yes.
I like that he's in the deck.
Yeah.
I can see the possibilities for Oswald for sure. If you're able to get a couple lucky flips and get some stuff into play. Plus, he's just a two lore threat on turn 2, which is just not the worst thing to have.
It's not the worst thing. I mean, I think there's a lot of promise in this style of deck. I question Oswald at this point. I think some people might, it's consistency. But I think that what Zan's got is likely to be a version that'll find its way.
Right.
Into
I mean, some would argue you're trying to ramp on turn 2, but you could always ramp and then play Oswald Inc. And then, so like the next turn. So I could see ways that Oswald can still get his benefit, even if you don't want to play him on 2.
Or even if he only triggers once or twice.
Right.
Depending on how heavy, it's kind of like you think about Ariel. People tend to joke that Ariel doesn't do what she needs to do, or she doesn't.
She's fraudulent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's basically a vanilla card that lets you look at the top 4 cards. The top 4 cards.
They put them at the bottom.
So I mean, if it works in 20% of the games you're playing it in, or 30% of the games, and you get a free dime or a free Maurice's Workshop or a free
anything.
Even
I mean, if it's a popsicle, to draw
on
a card.
2, on 3, that's pretty valuable. That's a pretty valuable thing to be able to do.
I agree.
So certainly that's one avenue to go.
For sure.
Do we
open up a couple packs? We taking a break? What's going on? Whatever we want. All right, the boss says whatever we want, so we're gonna open up a couple more packs, guys.
Let's open up some packs.
Let's do it before we head into our round number 7 next, I believe. Yeah, number 7.
These are coming. Let me tell you, these games are happening pretty quick.
We're rapidly approaching.
Yes.
Yeah, the judges. Shout out to the judges. Judges keeping this game moving.
Yeah.
Yep. They're all here today, so we appreciate everybody. Yeah, for sure.
Everybody get your Pete foils and have a judge sign them.
Yeah, shout out to judges.
Seriously.
Because they are, we have a table judge that's able to make sure that nothing weird happens, like that lore mistake that we just had, or Jack accidentally swinging into something when he wasn't supposed to. We had somebody there to make sure that, that was handled correctly. All right, guys. So Enchanted is coming.
Yeah, I hope you pull it because I got that Tamatoa, but I kind of hope I pull it though. Why can't we both pull it?
Moyen, you don't want to do a whole Metafy on Twitch chat, dude? Why not? You don't want to give us a lesson? Teach us, Moyen.
Teach us.
RB continues to say Oswald is not it.
Oswald, is Oswald real yet or what?
R&B is not an Oswald believer.
R&B, why are you such a hater? Well, don't hate.
That's what R&B does.
Oswald can do it, bro.
But he's bald, so I'll let him. I'll let it.
That's
slide.
the only reason why we let him slide. We gotta keep our brethren in check.
For sure.
All right, you know what? Let's focus on some good stuff. I got card soldiers. What do you got?
Louise.
Okay, I got Pain. We love.
I don't know
Pain.
how to pronounce this guy's name, but Greenwich or whatever.
Grunge.
All
right, I got Honey Lemon.
I got a Baymax's charging station.
Okay, that's cool. I've got a Baymax. I got a battery.
I got a racer girl. I don't know her name.
Yeah, I got Susie.
I got Fa.
We've got Aquila.
I got Jafar.
Ooh, my first uncommon, an Amber Coil.
I got Gothel.
I got Li Shang.
I got Kodu.
I have an Amethyst Coil.
All right, let's start peeking. Oh god.
So we got rare.
I got a Kanai.
I've got a Basil.
Oh, I finally got a legendary.
I'm so proud of you. What is it?
It's probably junk.
Mine says Milo Thatch rare.
It's probably junk.
Don't say that. It's a Tamatoa. I believe in you. Tamatoa.
It's red at the top.
Tamatoa?
It's red at the top. Oh, it's Minnie Mouse.
We love Minnie.
Yeah, it's Minnie Mouse and a foil Anna.
I got a foil super rare.
Of course you did.
It's a Taka.
Oh, that's a cool one.
That's a cool one, yeah.
All right, guys. The Enchanted's coming. I know it. Show Me More is coming. And then I will be getting everybody demonetized.
Yeah, it'll be worth it.
I will be
so
taking off my clothes and running around the store.
It'll be so worth it. It's hot in here.
It is hot in here.
It's a health situation thing.
I got this fan, but I'm kind of hogging all the fan right now.
That's fine. That's all right.
All right, guys. This one I'm not going to go card by card because I feel like we know the cards already.
Yeah. Let's skip
the.
What's the trick? You got to take the first 6 and put them in the back.
This is not Pokemon.
All right, so let's start the uncommons. How's that? Let's start the uncommons.
No, I already skipped.
Yo,
we're doing. Oh, I got another legendary.
Dude, I'm doing this the right way.
I got a legendary. What's it gonna be?
Oh wait. Okay, so my first rare is a glass slipper. I got a second glass slipper to match. Sick. Yeah. So my apologies, friends. We're getting all kinds of messages from beyond, from our friends on the other side.
Sorry, we got summoned to go eat Chick-fil-A, guys.
Oh, I pulled a Minnie Mouse too. Look, I got my Minnie Mouse. And then I got a common. This is my family.
What's this legendary? Ooh, it's the Queen.
The Queen. Put her in your Ruby Sapphire or your Ruby Amethyst deck with a Lufu.
And that's a cool one. A foil Jafar.
Jafar, not bad.
All right. It's not enchanted Jafar, but I'll take it.
Yeah, it's a Jafar though.
It's a Jafar.
And the next set is Reign of Jafar.
That is what they say.
All right. So, what do you say we take a little break?
Is that all we're okay? That's right. Yeah, we have 4 packs left for Lego Girls. 4 packs, and that's where the Enchanted is. Huh? Well, we're done with packs. Yeah, we're gonna save these 4 for later.
We don't want to blow them all.
We're taking a Chick-fil-A break, guys. You can't stop us. All right.
Yeah.
You can't hold us back. We're gonna go.
You don't clean your area up. You're messy.
Well,
I'm calling your wife on you.
You're so messy. Usually, I'm the clean one.
Yeah, I can tell by your area.
I'm the clean one. My desk does look quite atrocious, though.
Yeah,
I have a lot going on. All right, guys. Enough of us. We will see you all in just a little bit. We're gonna go grab some food and get ready for our next round. So thanks for hanging, and we'll see you in a bit.
See ya. There is no Illuminati.